media. Each of you is fulfilling a vital role in our nation. You're challenging the media gatekeepers and the corporate censors to bring the facts straight to the American people, and that's what you're doing. You're going right to the people. Possibly we wouldn't be here right now. I asked somebody, what do you think I'd do without social media? Would I be here? Because I said, I think so. But they weren't so sure. I have to say that, you know that. I'm not sure I believe that, but I have to say it. But you communicate directly with our citizens without having to go through the fake news filter. It's very simple. Together you reach more people than any television broadcast network by far, not even close. We're delighted to be joined at this summit by someone you know very well, our senior advisor for digital strategy and somebody that's been working for me for a long time, for many years, Dan Scavino. Where's Dan? Stand up there. Come on. So long before we were even doing this, he was at a club, running a club and other businesses, and he was okay at doing it. Not the greatest. I wouldn't say the greatest, but you know what he was great at? He was always looking at his computer screen. I said, that guy's incredible. So right at the beginning, I said, that's the man. And there was nobody better at that. And I think Hillary had 28 people, and I had Dan. Right? Good. I had my Dan. And he works about 28 hours a day. And he works very hard. He doesn't work. I mean, he loves it. He loves it. And his imagination and really working with all of you and many of you, he'll come up with ideas and you'll come up with ideas and he'll run into my office and says, you got to see this. And a lot of times I'll go out and I'll spend a lot of money on a concept. I'll say, here's a concept, come up with this, and we'll hire these companies and they want a lot of money and they come back. Just happened the other day, right? I said, that's terrible. These guys have no talent. The people that have the talent are the people that we deal with. And it's true. And some of you are extraordinary. I can't say everybody, but some of you are extraordinary. The crap you think of is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I'm going to go back to the basics of Washington. I'm going to introduce some of my secretaries. Steve Mnuchin. Steve, where's Steve? Steve has done a fantastic job. Wilbur Ross. Wilbur, we have a meeting in a little while on the census and citizenship. Can you believe? Are you a citizen of the United States of America? Sir, you can't ask that question. Why? Because the court said you can't. We have 3 very unfriendly courts. They fight us all the way. The judges don't like us too much, I guess. But think of that, Herman, think of that question. Are you a citizen? We spend, this is another thing that's so crazy, $20 billion on a census, $20 billion. They spend $20 billion. I said, $20 billion what? $20 billion on a census. They go through houses, they go up, they ring doorbells, they talk to people. How many toilets do they have? How many desks do they have? How many beds? What's their roof made of? The only thing we can't ask is, are you a citizen of the United States? No, is it the craziest thing? 20 billion. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing, Charlie. Also, David Bernhardt, great job you're doing. Interiors. The largest landlord in the United States. When my friends tell me how big they are, they just bought another building. Big deal, Kevin, right? They bought another building. Then I look at David Bernhardt. He controls half of the United States. Department of Interiors, a lot of land, a lot of beautiful land that we're taking good care of, David, right? Acting Director, Russ Vaught. Russ, thank you. Great job. We're working on our budget. Along with some of the great members of Congress and a wonderful friend of mine who's my leader, right? He's my leader. I tell him that to his face because it makes him feel good. I don't know if I believe that, Marcia. But Kevin, stand up, Kevin. Kevin McCarthy, everybody. Senator Marsha Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee. We campaigned together. And she did, we can say it now, she ran against the most popular Democrat in the last 50 years. He really was great. Good man, right? And governor for quite a long time, 8 years. And she just didn't stop. 12 points. She was down by 10, and she won by 12. That's right. She was down by 10, and she won by 12, and she wouldn't stop. They just, every day, where is she? She's here, she's there. Fantastic job you did. We're proud of you. Well, thank you, honey. That's great. It was just, honestly, working with people that know what they're doing, it's fun. That was fun, and you know what you're doing. Representative Dan Crenshaw, who is very good at this, by the way, Dan. Very good at this. Really good. Thank you. It's great to have you in the party. And you have more courage than I do, Dan. Okay? That courage of yours is incredible. Thank you very much. Great job. A friend of mine and a wonderful person and somebody that has, I don't know, pretty unlimited future, I'd say. I hear a lot of very positive things. Liz Cheney. Liz, thank you. Thank you. And you know, I pardoned somebody named Scooter Libby. A lot of you don't know who Scooter Libby is. Scooter Libby is a man that got treated very unfairly. And Liz was right in the forefront of that one. And I said, what do you think, Liz? And you said, absolutely, he deserves it. And it's been a very popular pardon. He was treated very, very brutally and unfairly. So thank you for that help. Matt Gaetz, where's Matt? Where's Matt? Stand up, Matt. Boy, a great defender. He gets on television, and he's like, it doesn't stop. And he's smart, and he's good, and he loves Florida, and he loves his people, and he's a hard worker. And Matt, thank you very much. I really appreciate it very much. And Mike Johnson. Mike, thank you. Great job, Mike. And I want to thank a man who I said a long time ago when we said, let's do it, because Josh Hawley is special. He is somebody that, I said, Josh, you got to run. Well, I don't know. You know, he had a good setup pretty well, right? You weren't going anywhere. He could do whatever he wanted in his great state. And I said, I'm telling you, you can do it. And she turned out she's a tough candidate. Whether you like her or you don't like her, she's tough, right? And by the end of that was incredible. That was a hell of a race, and he won, and he's young, and he's brilliant. And I'm going to ask him to come up and say a few words, if you don't mind, about what we're doing. And come on up right now. I think it would be a good time. Right?
Thank you. Well, first of all, can we just give another round of applause to the President of the United States for his leadership on this issue? You know, the media says, the establishment media, the fake media, they say, oh, there's no censorship in social media. That's all made up. That's all fake. You and I know that that's not true. You and I know the truth is that the social media giants would love to shut us down. They would love to shut us up. They would love to shut him up more than anything else, and we can't let them. And that's why we need to step up now, and I think we need to say to them, here's the deal. Google, Facebook, Twitter, they've gotten these special deals from government. They've gotten a special giveaway from government. They're treated unlike anybody else. If they want to keep their special deal, here's the bargain. They have to quit discriminating against conservatives. You agree with that? No more. No more discrimination. It's that simple. That's all we're asking for. They ought to abide by the same principles of free speech and the First Amendment that this country embraces, that we love and call our own. And I don't think it's too much to ask for these huge tech platforms who've gotten rich off of our information, right? Off of our data, off of everything we've given them. They've gotten rich off of it. They've gotten rich off their special privileges from government. They want to keep those. They shouldn't discriminate. They shouldn't censor. They shouldn't shut us down. I want to thank the President again for his incredible leadership. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you, Mr. President, for all that you do.
And you know, Josh is doing right now, he's doing some very important legislation because we have to do something about what's happening. I never hear about the other side. I can tell you, I think I'm pretty good at getting out a message, but technologically I would think I'm okay, just okay. but I'll tell you, a lot of bad things are happening. I have people come up to me, sir, we want to follow you. They don't let us on. And it was so different than it was even 6, 7 months ago. I was picking up unbelievable amounts of people. And I'm hotter now than I was then, okay? Because, you also cool off, right? But much hotter, especially with a nice new stock market like it is, right? But no, I'm hotter now, and I go to Dan, I say, hey, what's going on here? It used to take me a short number of days to pick up 100,000 people. I'm not complaining, we're like at 60 some odd million, but then we have 5 different sites. We have another site with 25 million, we have another site with 10 or 12, then we have Facebook, then we have Instagram. We have a lot. We got a lot of people. Way, way over 100 million. But I used to pick them up, and when I say used to, I'm talking about a few months ago, I was picking them up 100,000 people every very short period of time. Now it's, I would say, 10 times as long. And I noticed things happening when I put out something, a good one, that people like, right? Good tweet. It goes up. It used to go up, it would say 7,000, 7,008, 7,017, 7,024, 7,032, 7,044, right? Now it goes 7,000, 7,008, 6,998. Then they go 7,009, 6,074. I said, what's going on? No, it never did that before. It goes up, and then they take it down, then it goes up. I'd never had that. Does anyone know what I'm talking about with this? I never had that before. I used to watch it. It'd be like a rocket ship when I put out a beauty. Like when I said, remember I said somebody was spying on me? That thing was like a rocket. I get a call 2 minutes later. Did you say that? I said, yeah, I said that. Well, it's exploding. It's exploding. I turned out to be right. I turned out to be right. We turn out to be right about a lot of things. But I never had it. I'm just saying from the standpoint of somebody that maybe has used social media better than anybody, Josh, because I became president. I'm sure I could have done it, as we said, I would have, there's no question I would have done it either way. I said to Mark Burnett the other day, I said, so The Apprentice, had I never done The Apprentice, because it was a tremendous hit for 12 seasons, I said, had I never done The Apprentice, would I be president? He said, maybe not. And I said, I think I would have. But I'm always going to say that. I'm always going to say it, but it was a great show. But with social media, so I've never seen it before, where I go up and then come down, up, down, up, down. Now, ultimately, you get, but it goes very slowly. But I've never seen where it's subtracted. And I really believe people they're taking it up as it goes up. And sometimes it comes down substantially. A number of months ago, I was at a certain number, many millions. And then all of a sudden, I was down over 1 million. And then I came down, I said, what's going on? And you checked, Dan, and you said, they say they are doing adjustments. They say they don't like some of the people. And I don't have the fake people. A lot of people buy people. I don't want to do that. Because first of all, if I did it, it's a front page story all over the place. But I know a lot of people, there's no question about it, because I see some numbers that are phony numbers where they have these, many, many millions of followers. And I say there's no way, because nobody has any interest in these people. They have now Herman Cain they have interest in, okay? But they have no interest in these people. They're playing games. They're playing games. James Woods, I don't know James, but he's an interesting guy, and he's a conservative guy. And he's a straight shooter. He's tough. But when they want to take him off, and other people like him, many in this room, some in this room, it's a very, very bad thing. So I have many millions of followers across various accounts, and together, everyone in this room, we reach over 500 million followers, and I think that's probably a low number, because one of the things I get that's a little benefit, I'll go watch, like I did Golan Heights. I gave Israel the real credit over, and Golan Heights and Israel, very important. But I gave representation in the strongest form of the Golan Heights, Israel. I talked about it, little quick tweet. They've been looking at it for 52 years. They've been trying to get it. They couldn't get it. They'd have many summits where people would fly in, talk about the Golan Heights, and then fly out. This went on many, many summits. It's about a 52-year period. I said, what happened? They said nothing. They'd fly in, they'd fly out. Some had beautiful planes, some didn't. Some probably didn't get there by plane, but they'd have many summits. I said, watch, I'm going to do this. And I said, we recognize the Golan Heights as being part of Israel. It was a big thing. I go, watch this. Boom, I press it. And within 2 seconds, we have breaking news. John Roberts of Fox was over. He said, we have breaking news. Please break it up. Doesn't matter what they're talking about, John does it. He breaks it up. Now, that's Twitter. That's social media. I call Twitter a typewriter. That's what I really call Twitter, because it goes on to Facebook automatically, and it goes on to Instagram, and it goes on to television. More so Fox than it does CNN. If it's something bad, they'll put it on. If I have a spelling deal, they will put it on. Donald Trump spelled the word "the" wrong, you know. He doesn't know how to spell "the." He spelled it "thi." You know, they couldn't care. Any kind of a punctuation mistake, they put it on. So I'm very, very careful. I'm actually a good speller, but everyone said the fingers aren't as good as the brain. But it is true, and it's incredible what it does. I put out a social media statement, and I was telling Kellyanne the other day, I said, you know, I used to put out like a press release, right? And people would pick it up sort of, you know, next day, 2 days, they'd find it sitting on a desk. If I put out, we hardly do press releases anymore, because if I put out on social media a statement, like I'm going to in a little while, on something totally unrelated, but a very important statement, now they're going crazy. What is it? Tell me what. Watch. But it's very, very important. But if I put that out in a press release, I'm telling you, Kevin, people don't pick it up. It's me, same. If I put it out on social media, it's like an explosion. Fox, CNN, crazy MSNBC, they're stone cold crazy. I made them a lot of money with The Apprentice, and I gave them a top show when they were dying on NBC. But they don't like me too much. They wanted a big extension. They used Arnold Schwarzenegger instead. Big movie star. You know what? He died. He died. I was there 12 years, 14 seasons, and then they pick a movie actor and he dies on us. You know, I own that with Mark Burnett and some people, and they said, would you rather have him had been like this tremendous, massive success, you own it so you benefit financially, or would you rather have him die so that you say you did it for 14 seasons, 12 years? I said, I think I'd rather have him die at it. That means you don't need the money. I'd rather have him die at it. Anyway, but with amazing creativity and determination, you're bypassing the corrupt establishment, and it is corrupt, and you're bypassing the very, very corrupt media, which not all of it is, but much of it is, far greater percentages than anyone would understand. As the cameras start to go off, they go the red lights, look, boom. I can always tell. Like when I talk about, and I'll be in the stadium, the red lights will roll on, everyone's got, and then we start talking about like the media, how dishonest it is, how corrupt it is, how fake it is, and you see lights going off. The lights immediately go off, and usually they don't come back. They say, this guy's impossible. But I want to just say, because you people have a lot of courage, to each and every one of you, I say thank you very much. On behalf of a nation, thank you very much. It's very important what you're doing. You're getting, in many cases, the honest word out. Not in all cases, but in many cases. When historians look back at this time, they will see that many of the biggest news stories of our era were totally ignored. I can tell you that I deal with the media, and the spin they put on it, or sometimes they'll leave it out, and then if there's something slightly negative, they'll make it, headline news. They'll put it down as headline news. Or even covered up by the media. They were broken up by citizens, and you'll take a look at what's happening, and you see stories that should be phenomenal, big, beautiful stories, and it turns out that they don't get covered. We did something yesterday on kidney and kidney dialysis, and there's a tremendous number of people with problems with kidneys. And it was Secretary Azar. It was a big, big, important thing. Got very little coverage. Very positive. What we did is such a great thing. I don't care. We don't have to get the... It's good for our nation. It's good for people to read about it and see the strides that we've made and what we're doing. But that doesn't get covered, and it should get covered. And it doesn't get covered for a reason, because they don't want to give that to a conservative. They don't want to let that happen. Now, if somebody else were in this position, such as the previous administration, they'd make that headline news all over the place, what we did yesterday. But when we're doing it, they give very little credit to that. But anything bad that happens, I always say they can take bad and make it horrible. They can take a good story and make it sort of bad. And they can take a great, great story and make it anywhere from good to slightly bad. It's incredible what they can do. I say I haven't had a good story in 2.5 years. I used to get great press. Steve Mnuchin knows. He said, man, you get the greatest press, until I got elected. Then it stopped. But I used to get the greatest press, possibly one of the reasons I'm here. But we're getting the word out, and we get it out in a different way. I didn't think it would have to, Charlie. I didn't think it would be this tough. And by the way, two very special people. I have to say hello to them. Because my wife said, I see these two beautiful women, African-American, incredible women that are on television. They are unbelievable. This is 2 years ago. She was before her time. They have no idea who I'm talking about. Our first lady said, you have to see these women. They're incredible. They're genius. And they like you. I said, I want to see them. And I like them. I love them, actually. I love them. Come. So when the historians look back, they're going to see something very important took place right here before today. It started taking place a number of years ago. And it's something that nobody ever thought would happen. Free speech is a bedrock of American life. Our constitutional rights must be fiercely protected. And I want you to know that we will always have your back. We're fighting for you very hard. We're going to be calling a big meeting of the companies in a week or two. They have to be here. And Josh is really leading a very strong group of people. This isn't just Josh. This is you leading a tremendous group, and they feel equally as strongly as you because they see the unfairness of what's happening. And remember, we won. We have a bigger voice than anybody, but we don't get covered fairly. Can you imagine if we were covered fairly? We had our best polls, like yesterday they were telling me. I said, could you imagine if I actually got good press instead of even fair press? I don't want good, I want fair. Can you imagine what those numbers would be? They make up stories, the Russian hoax, I call it the Russian hoax, the witch hunt. All bad publicity, and yet we're doing great in the polls. So people understand that the public is very smart, but we're getting the word out about so many things, not just that. About so many things. And maybe the most important thing about how great our country's doing. Jobs now, more people working today than ever in the history of our country. Ever in the history of our country. Think of that. Unemployment are the best numbers in 51 years. For African American, the best numbers in our history. Herman. Right? Including you. And you're making a lot, I hope. But Hispanic American, best numbers in history. All right? Stand up. Good. And I like your dresses, by the way, very much. No, not you, sir. You. Thank you. I saw you the other day. Fantastic job. But Hispanic American, the best in history. Asian American, the best in history. Women, I think, Kellyanne, the best in 75 years. Best unemployment numbers in 75 years. What we're doing It's nothing like this has been done. Our military is now strong. When I took it over, it was depleted. We had planes that were so old they didn't fly. They'd have to go to the desert to get parts. When we took it over, it was not a good situation. We got $700 billion, then $716 billion, and we're going to be asking for another one this year. And it's all manufactured in the United States. We make it ourselves, and that's always good because that's jobs. Now, in this case, jobs aren't important compared to military defense, but we make the best planes and rockets and military equipment anywhere in the world, nothing like it. And we're doing something that's incredible. So our military is strong. Our country is really powerful and really strong. Never been like this. Whoops. How did a fly get into the White House? I don't like that. I don't like flies. I don't like flies.